Showtime is promoting a fight at the same date at the same time as Spence Crawford. Don't make any sense, Steven Espinoza. Why would you do this, Steven Espinoza?
The Truth, Errol Spence responds to Barbershop Conversations, Frederick Hawthorne, for comments he recently made about his fight with Bud being on the same night as Bellator MMA on Showtime. We're going to talk about what EJ had to say. We also going to talk about what Fred had to say. Hey, this shit funny right here. But before we get into the video, make sure that you hit my like button and sub to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Hey, Fred Hawthorne, man, dude is funny as hell, real talk. You know what I'm talking about? Fred recently, he been on a rampage to shit on Al Heyman and Steven Espinoza for the past few years, ever since he lost that media fight credential. He ain't let up off of them ever since then. And then you got Errol Spence that sees and watches everything. Like, you ain't really gonna get nothing past EJ. He might not respond and say anything about everything that he sees because, it's impossible. But he see everything. You know what I'm talking about? EJ, during camp, that's what he do, you know what I'm saying? He pick up his phone, he get to scrolling through Twitter, he gets to scrolling through YouTube, and he watching everything in the background. When I say everything, I don't literally mean everything, but he had a relationship with Fred Hawthorne at one point in time. And he watches YouTube. He be watching these YouTube channels. So you ain't finna get nothing past Errol Spence. So a lot of times he gonna come on and he's gonna respond. Sometimes he'll respond and make a little subliminal message, but he gonna respond. He ain't gonna call your name out directly, but he's gonna respond to comments that you make or that you made if he ain't feeling what you said. And that's exactly what he did in this instance. He responded to Fred Barbershop Conversations. Fred, he came out and he made a video, and I'm gonna put the title up so y'all can see the title of the video. And once again, he throwing rocks and shit at Steven Espinoza and Al Heyman. And in the video, he was talking about, like you heard in the intro, why would little Steven and Al Heyman make the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight on the same day that they made the Bellator MMA event. When it comes to making a big event like this, first of all, you got to be able to lock in the venue that you want to fight in. With that, it can't just be on any date because there's a lot of events going on in these big venues like the MGM Grand and things like that, So you got to be able to lock in the date when nothing else is going on in that venue. Also, you have a schedule within your own company, right? Within the PBC and Showtime, you got other scheduled fights that you got to schedule around. So it's very complicated to get a date when nothing else is going on. You got Bellator MMA, you got the PFL, you got the UFC, you got all these other sports that you're competing with, right? And not only that, you also got other boxing promotional companies. They got big fights that they trying to put on. And you got to make sure that they don't have a big event that they putting on. So it doesn't take away from your base fan core boxing fans. If Top Rank is putting on a big event, well, you really don't want to go against Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to go against you. The Zone, Golden Boy, whatever it may be. And so what they do is they look at the best date and time when the venue's available to make the event happen. Now, competing against Bellator MMA, are they really competing against them? Hell no. You know what I'm talking about? Real talk. If you a big Bellator MMA fan, if you a fan of Bellator MMA that much, you probably not a fan of boxing. You know what I'm talking about? Because if you're a boxing fan, or if you are a boxing fan and a Bellator MMA fan, when Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford is fighting, you are not finna miss Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight to watch Bellator MMA. And that's gonna be on regular Showtime subscription. So if you got regular Showtime, you either gonna watch it back on the Showtime app or something, or you gonna DVR it. Ain't nobody finna miss Errol Spence and Bud Crawford fight to watch no Bellator MMA. Trust me, if you a fan of both of them, you are not finna miss Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. You just not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just silly. Let's just keep it 100. Ain't no boxing fan gonna say, oh man, Bellator MMA gonna be on that night. I'm sorry, man. I'm just gonna have to pass up on Errol Spence and Bud. I can't watch Errol Spence and Bud because, man, I gotta watch this Bellator MMA. Who's gonna say that? You know what I'm saying? What percentage of fans is gonna say that? If anything, Bellator MMA, they effed up by having this event on the same night as EJ and Bud. Real talk. They the ones that's gonna have to move over. So right now, I'm gonna play y'all what Fred Hawthorne had to say about the situation. He funny as hell, y'all. But after that, I'm gonna show y'all what EJ had to say about the situation, and I'm gonna cook on everything.
Showtime is promoting a fight at the same date at the same time as Spence Crawford. And I'm the guy. I want the fight. I'm like, if they not all in on this fight, why are they asking the fans and the media to be all in on this fight, dog? It makes no sense. I don't know why on their own network they're competing against another fight. Don't make any sense, Steven Espinoza. Why would you do this, Steven Espinoza? Explain that to me. At the same time, too. I would have thought the goal was 1.5 million because you're going to get every boxing fan and they need some type of shoulder programming. But, you know, what do I know? I'm Bobo the Fool. Like, what do I know? Like, I don't plan Kennedy's and Lincoln's training at the same time. I don't. Kennedy has her basketball practice, and then we go to Lincoln's basketball practice. You know why? Because I don't want to split mommy and daddy up. If I'm in control, which you are in control of your network, right? If I'm in control, I advocate for you get what I'm saying? So I'm disappointed.
Yeah, they all heard Fred. You know, I mean, if it was Lincoln and Kennedy, I mean, when it's Lincoln and Kennedy, when they have a basket, Fred Hawthorne doesn't. Hey, Fred funny as hell. Hey, so you heard Fred, man. And shout out to Fred. Go watch his video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can watch the whole video and whatnot. But, man, Fred trying to make it like that this Bellator MMA event that's going on the same night is Errol Spence and Bud. It's going to make EJ and Bud pay-per-view numbers take a huge hit. Man, ain't nobody worried about no Bellator MMA, dog. Real talk. And Fred know that. Fred just do that to try to get under the skin of Al Heyman and Steven Espinoza. But newsflash, Fred, Al Heyman and Steven Espinoza ain't paying no attention to nothing you doing or saying, dog. Real talk. You know what I'm talking about? If Fred always talking about he worth 20s of millions of dollars, dog, if I was worth 20s of millions of dollars, you think I'll be on the internet every day making videos about what Al Heyman and Steven Espinoza are doing? And do you think that Al Heyman and Steven Espinoza that's really worth tens or 20s of millions of dollars, if you think they on YouTube pulling up Fred Hawthorne Barbershop conversation to see what he talking about? I highly doubt it. They not listening to nothing you saying, dog. Real talk. Hey, but Fred funny, man. He funny as hell. But I'm going to let y'all see right now what EJ had to say. So obviously, EJ seen what Fred was saying, and he just say, nobody gives a fuck about Bellator MMA July the 29th. Real talk. Ain't nobody giving a damn about what's going on with Bellator MMA unless you just a die-hard MMA fan and you really don't watch boxing anyway. You know what I'm talking about? If you a fan of both, well, it's a no-brainer which one you finna be watching. So if anything, Fred needs to be making a video asking Steven Espinoza, whoever else he want to talk to, why did they put a Bellator MMA card on the same night as Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? Because that's gonna mess up their viewership. It ain't gonna do nothing to EJ and Buzz viewership when it comes to people buying that pay-per-view. It's going down on July the 29th. Whatever Bellator MMA doing, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna have to figure that out. But Fred is funny as hell, man. When I seen this video, I couldn't do nothing but laugh, because at some point, man, with people like Fred, you just gotta laugh at them and just keep going on, man. But I just want to put this out. I want to know what y'all think about this whole situation. Let me know what y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure that you hit my like button and sub to the channel. And is any of y'all gonna be watching Bellator MMA? Let me know. Y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.
It's hater me, chalkboard material, get it, then fuck it. Hey, roll another blunt up, hit patchwork.